Now, by the way, it's not just conservative critics that are slamming the Anointed One's State of the Union address. No, there were many glaring inconsistencies in the president's speech last night, so many that even many in the mainstream liberal media, they can't avoid picking this apart. Among the many facts, well, they're just not adding up. So is the president's baseless claim that he's willing to do anything to help solve America's energy crisis, was that accurate? Let's take a look.
Over the last 3 years, we've opened millions of new acres for oil and gas exploration. And tonight I'm directing my administration to open more than 75% of our potential offshore oil and gas resources. This country needs an all-out, all-of-the-above strategy that develops every available source of American energy.
Now, if that's true, Mr. President, then why, just days ago, did you reject the rapid approval of the Keystone Pipeline plan, which would have carried oil from Canada to Texas, thereby lessening our dependence on foreign oil and creating as many as 20,000 jobs minimum in the process? Now, joining me now to fact-check the rest of the president's speech, the author of the New York Times bestseller, #1 bestseller, Culture of Corruption, Michelle Malkin is back. By the way, I'm urging her on Twitter to come up with Volume 2, which I think there's enough information. No Solyndra, no Keystone, no Medicare, no Social Security, all of the above except drilling, coal mining, nuclear plants. None of the, all the above. He's really none of the above, but he says it with a straight face.
It was amazing. It was quite a flaming pants-on-fire moment for him, the entire State of the Union speech. And as you pointed out, Sean, it wasn't just us on the right who were calling him out on all of these lies and leftover propaganda agenda. But it was also mainstream organizations like the Associated Press and the Washington Post and USA Today. On the one hand, of course, it wasn't very difficult to fact-check the speech since so much of it was recycled. I mean, this guy is president rerun, and there were more warmed-over leftovers stuffed into this speech than a Thanksgiving casserole, particularly with that line, bragging with such audacity about how much he has done to open up new energy possibilities. It's not just Keystone, but it's all the lies of this rogue Interior Department of his, which has done nothing but work to stop new energy development and kill coal, oil, and gas jobs.
All right, so I'm following you on Twitter at Michelle Malkin. I'm at Sean Hannity. All right, and this isn't a plug. And I read your comments because I'm always interested in your columns, and I see a name, and I'm interested in what you say. And I've been following you on the presidential race. You're right in all your criticism of the president, but you're very critical of all the Republican candidates. But this is what we've got. And I'm wondering at some point, I'm anybody but Obama. I'm not saying that any one candidate's perfect, but I don't really see you saying any good thing about the Republican candidates. And I'm a little curious, why?
Well, I don't think it's true that I haven't said anything good about any of them. I mean, when I find when I find that these candidates are principled, not only in their criticism of Barack Obama, but also principled in their embrace of true fiscal conservative values, I will be right there standing with them. I think that the reason why so many of us in the grassroots conservative movement are in such a quandary is twofold. One, we want somebody who can greatly articulate conservative values, but also who has a proven record of standing by them. And on so many core issues that gave rise to the Tea Party movement in the first place, opposing massive government interventions, whether it was the TARP bailout or the auto bailout under the Bush administration, the AIG bailout, the Obama stimulus, the Obama health care plan. These guys have a very mixed record on that. And I think that we just have to be honest about their warts. And we're going through the process right now, and I think it's good and healthy that we're doing it.
I agree. It's good and healthy, and I think by them going after each other, it's going to make them stronger. I agree with all of that, but there are 4 candidates left. There's Ron Paul, there's Rick Santorum, there's Newt Gingrich, and there's Mitt Romney. And at this point, we've examined their records backwards, forwards, sideways, up and down. I personally have I can't think of any new question except as new events develop that I haven't asked them already. So, at this point,
at this point.
But here's the point. And I'm reading, and I really admire your work, and I'm reading everything that you're writing, and I'm thinking, at some point, I hope you realize that one of them is going to be the nominee, and I'm just concerned because you are a prominent conservative voice, and you seem that critical that I'm concerned. Are you going to be able to support one of those four at the end of the day?
And we'll see who it is at the end of the day. You haven't endorsed anyone either, Sean, and I would imagine it's because of the same reason that I am. I want to see them go through this process. Right now, it's not just about where they stand on issues. I know that you know where they stand on all these major policy issues, but it's also their character. How do they respond when they are under attack? Do they choose to play left-wing games and adopt left-wing rhetoric, or will they stay true to conservative principles? Will they do anything? Are they adopting by any means necessary strategy? What kind of character integrity do they have? And this is the test that we're seeing right now. And I'm glad to be watching it. I'm not going to hold back on any of these candidates as they go through it. I
always admired your honesty here, but is there one that you're leaning towards? I made my decision because I want to give as much access to this audience, my radio audience, as possible so that they can make an informed decision. I'm one person, and New York is much later in the process. Is there one person you might be leaning towards at this point?
No, I'm watching them, and I think that I treat them equally, whether it's on Twitter or in my blogs or in my column. I'll call them out if they lie. I'll call them out if they use smear tactics, and I will praise them when I see them doing the right thing and associating with the right people and treating the grassroots conservative base with the respect that it deserves.
Well, I want that too, and I think we need a bold conservative that's going to beat Obama. I mean, and who that person is, everybody that's watching us right now will hopefully decide. So, Michelle, it's always good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
You bet. Take care.